everybody. Oh, hello there. I didn't realize I had company. Well, welcome to CNYWeathertainment.com. I'm Meteorologist Jeff Matthews. I do weather. Let's do that, shall we? Average high is 76 degrees, being that you're here and all. And by the way, as you're checking out the temp trend, which is not going to be far from average until we get to next week when it begins to ramp up. It's June. Got to expect that. I noticed that a lot of people pick up on the fact that I wear colors that tend to make you think of certain types of weather. Well, if that's the case, and it probably is true, I probably do dress color-wise similar to what kind of weather we have. I'm out of the gray into the green. So that's got to be better, right? You would think. So there's your temp trend. Here's your weather headlines. So the temp's not far from average until next week when it begins to ramp up. Headline number 2, look out for a boomer tonight. A little thunderstorm activity. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But I do want to point out, look at how specific, 7 to 11 p.m. And it would be more likely to occur in the front side of that range in Oneida County and in the back side of that range for Otsego County as those storms push through. And it looks like a half and half weekend. Do you like your coffee like me? Do you sometimes have to settle for the half and half versus the milk? Well, this weekend, half good, half wet. Let's talk storms. Threat level, low to moderate in terms of intensity. And the main issue here, wind, flooding, and maybe even small hail. Notice how I've bumped up the hail category to make it at least show up on the scale. Radar shows the storminess from the last few days moving away. I want to draw your attention to this line of broken thunder shower activity. And you can see it's not exactly a solid line. So it's not a 100% chance of a thunderstorm tonight, but a decent chance, again, between 7 this evening and 11 tonight. Where else do you get that kind of a specific time range for your forecasts? This is from yesterday. Notice this front here. This is a cold front. Storm here, moving through eastern Canada. We're right about here in central New York. And I pointed out yesterday that this cloud mass is thickening, widening out as opposed to down here, and that there's probably a secondary storm forming in here. There's been some energy coming in behind it to cause it to grow as well. And that's exactly what wound up happening, what's called a mesolow, which would be about the size of your average or smaller size state of the Union. That would be a mesolow. And there it is. This is the latest infrared imagery. You can see this one trailing behind the main storm as it pulls away. So that indeed did happen. Kept the shower activity going yesterday until the very early evening hours. But that's now moving away. And this is the next system. And you can tell. You don't have to be a meteorologist to figure this out. You just have to have good eyesight. See, the dark area is where there's very little moisture. This is not exactly high moisture, just a few little blue dots here, indicating these are not well-developed or deep storms, deep meaning through the layers of the atmosphere. So they will be fairly scattered, and they'll be most likely at the time this actual front moves through this evening. So it's just really a matter of figuring out what time is that front going to come through. And that's how I came up with the timestamp range. So this area of high pressure brings a decent day for today. Maybe a little bit of early fog or cloudiness, but then a nice mix of sun and clouds. Late this afternoon, I'd say after 3 or 4, you'll notice the cloud cover on the increase from these storms building ahead of us. Thunderstorm clearing out for a nice-looking Thursday. So again, the sequence of events, this front coming through after this high this morning brings us the nice weather through this afternoon. So that high will be moving to the east and quickly out to sea. The low pressure system with its cold front triggers a possible thunderstorm, 7 to 11 o'clock this evening. Skies clear out overnight tonight in response to another incoming area of high pressure, bringing nice weather for your Thursday and at least part of Friday. As you check out the almanac, right on target for the high. How about that? It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Man, it's amazing. I tease. And as you check out the precipitation in the rain gauge, I think the rain gauge at Rome is busted. So I had to find via WeatherLink, and you can do this too, other rain amounts included. Now let's see here. We had 4100ths in Clinton, 4300ths in Rome, 1.16 inches in the rain bucket in South Utica, but Dodgeville took the cake at 1.5 inches. Your forecast is just 60 seconds away.
Welcome to Intermission. Yeah, intermission.
So the details, dotting the I's, crossing the T's on your forecast for today. A little early clouds and fog giving way to mostly sunny skies. And then you'll notice after 3 or 4 o'clock those building, towering cumulus clouds indicative of that approaching cold front. Not much wind and a high, certainly warmer than those rainy days of past, 79, so close to 80. Storms, 1 or 2, between 7 this evening and 11 late this evening. Wind will not be a factor except around the storms. Tends to get gusty. Muggy low of 62 degrees. 7-day forecast looks just like that. A nice mixture of sun and clouds for your Thursday, 77. Friday, increasingly cloudy. There'll be some dim sun. That's my favorite Chinese food, by the way. And then a few storms on Saturday. That's your half and half weekend because Sunday looks absolutely pristine. Looks fantastic. Mix of sun and clouds on Monday, turning warmer. Humid too. Hard to tell if there'll be a storm or not Tuesday or if that's just an increase in humidity. It's a long way away and it's hard to tell a week out. Is that rain coming in or is that just a lot of humidity? But let's put the chance for a thunderstorm in there for next Tuesday. That is a check of your forecast. Hey, don't forget, on CNYWeathertainment.com you can get your inspiration of the day, as well as weather history, astronomy, which I've added some new features to as well, and more. We'll see you again next time. Regardless of the forecast, make it a great day.